Hello everyone, it's really good to see you here all. So in today's video, we are going to talk about a very important topic, and that is what are the different 5 most common interview mistakes that students normally do in any technical interviews. So let's get started. The very first thing is that lack of preparation. So if you are going to an interview and if you're not prepared very well, it often happens that you are not going to perform up to the mark, and that may be the reason that you are not getting selected for the further round or to get the job offer you wanted to be. So here what you have to do is, once your placement got started, it's not the time that now you can just start preparing for your interviews. During the time of your placement preparation, you have to also prepare for your interviews. Not only solving some coding problem is important, but at the same time, knowing which data structure do what is very important. That means having the concept idea of each and everything that you are doing is very important. So do prepare each and everything at the time of your preparation also. So here lack of preparation completes so many different points. That means what you have to do is, you have to firstly prepare for the different concept which is required in a technical interview, that is obviously your coding, DSA, OOPS concept, and some other data management system concept, that is DBMS, MySQL, and so on. So you have to have a background knowledge of this before going to an interview. And nowadays system design is also very demanding, and most of the company has started asking about it. So make yourself prepare related to the thing that is being going and continuously asking in an interview. Ask to your friend, ask to your seniors, and so on, to get the knowledge about which company do what, because company wise preparation is very important, and if you do that, you are surely going to crack that one. And the person who is actually going to crack the company is the person who has done preparation as well as research about the company, as well as talk to the students, seniors, peers, and so on, to get the overall overview of what type of question, what type of interviews, what type of technologies they have to prepare in order to get the job they want. So do prepare yourself well. Lack of preparation is very common mistake that students do, and they just think that I can say something, I can just prepare it. Don't procrastinate. If you have to do it, just do it now and prepare it well. And I'm very sure every one of you are aware about this. Preparation doesn't have any value where you can measure that now you have prepared 100% or now if you have prepared 50% and so on. It's just you who knows that you have seen this, you have known this, you have studied this, and by that particular conception, you will able to get to a result that you are now prepared for the interviews. So there is no particular measure using which you can get the percentage out of it. But I had made actually a video related to this, which you can go and watch and check whether you are actually interview and placement ready or not. Now let's move ahead and talk about the second point, that is ignoring communication skill. What happened is that in our college days, we are not very much fond of making ourselves prepare for the communication skills needed in companies or interviews. That's very true. Students oftenly ignore it, but this is very important, and I'm seriously telling you, if you're giving an interview, if you're communicating the thing well, and if you have done some mistake also, most of the time interviewer will ignore that, because the confidence you give to them is only thing which they want. I'm not saying that if you are saying each and everything incorrect, then also you will get selected just by the communication skills. That's absolutely not true. But what's true is that if you are communicating well, your chances of getting selected by the others is very high. So improve your communication skills. Ask your friend to talk in English. We often do that now we'll talk in English, now we'll do that, now we will always talk in English. Just don't procrastinate that also. If you want to make yourself a better communicator, then you have to learn this skill. Take this skill very seriously if you are focusing for any interviews. And not only interviews, it is going to help you for life. So why to just ignore this? And this is very common mistake which students generally do. Avoid doing that. Start making yourself a good communicator. Start polishing your communication skill, and that only happen when you start communicating. So, to take this note seriously. Now, rushing through solution is the very common mistake which a student do between an interview. So, if you are in an interview, don't just try to get to the solution as early as possible. This is very good thing that you already know the solution and so on, because if you have actually done the basic research about what are the type of question companies been asking from years, you will surely get to have a question from lead code, that is from medium to hard level, mostly medium level question, and most probably it's going to happen that you already know the solution. And if a student is already got a question, for example, let's say if you are focusing for a technical interview, it's 100% sure that you had solved some question on lead code, right? And let's suppose you get that question in an interview. I'm just saying you to suppose, because in today's world you are obviously not going to get that question in an interview, but let's suppose for an instance. And now after seeing that question that you already know how to solve it, and by the optimum approach, what do? You just rush to the solution. And also, if you don't know the thing, if you don't even understand the problem properly, it may be the chances that the question required some concept there, but it also have to do with something else. So just don't directly rush through the solution. It's a very common mistake that students do. Firstly, try to listen to the interview and make all the issues, all the doubts clear related to the problem statement itself before rushing through solutions. And if you already know the solution, right, just don't directly give that. Firstly, start with the basic approach. Start with the brute force approach and slowly just move ahead and make your solution optimized. Each step while you are in the process of optimizing your problem, to tell your interviewer that now this is the time complexity currently, this is the space complexity currently, and I want to improve this particular time or space complexity to this much. So this is how you are actually convincing the interviewer, at the same time letting him know that you are understanding the problem and you have an ability to actually improve and optimize the solution, and that is a very positive impact. And I'm telling you for sure, let's suppose we have two students, one student who started with the brute force solution and the other student who just directly jumped to the best optimized solution. There is 100% chance that the first student who just started with the basic and ended with the most optimized solution is going to get selected, because that's how you have to showcase your skill in an interview. In an interview, the interviewer wants you to start like that and end like that. And why is it so? Because in a company, you are going to solve so many problems, you are going to optimize so many things. But if you have an approach of how you are doing that, you are easily going to convince your colleagues, and also at the same time teach them or make them understand why are you doing so, because that's very important. Directly rushing through a solution will going to showcase the interviewer that you have already solved this problem some n number of times. That's why you got the solution very easily. So just don't rush through solution in an interview. It's very important point. Do keep it in mind. Between an interview, don't rush through solution. Go smoothly. Now let's move ahead and talk about this particular thing, that is neglecting edge cases. What happens is that you get to some solution in an interview, and almost everyone who have the sound knowledge of how to start an interview would start an interview with starting with the brute force approach and then slowly optimizing it. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind that neglecting edge cases will going to make you trouble a lot. And by this I wanted to say that when, let's suppose you have solved a problem by using some approach and so on, and at the end what you are going to get is you are going to get most of the answer correct, but at the same time, since you have neglected the edge cases, the possibilities are that the interviewer will not going to tell you that you have neglected this or so on, because it's very important. It's you who have to keep that in mind, that you don't have to just reach to a solution, but at the same time, after doing that, you have to also think about what are the different edge cases related to this particular question. And if you do so, it's very, very positive impact that you have covered each and everything to the point, and obviously you have performed so well in an interview. So practice this with your colleagues, with your friend and so on. Practice having a mock interview and adding all those elements of this, that is starting from brute force to optimizing it, and then at the end just discussing about the edge cases, talking about space and time complexity. So try to have a dummy interview with your friend, which would help you as well as your friend to get to know about the interview environment. And if you have aware about any environment, then it's very easy for you to perform well in that particular environment. Now let's move ahead and talk about this. This is actually very, very important. Not asking questions. In an interview, whether you want to ask a question or not, it's always recommended to ask a question, because in an interview you are getting 2 questions for sure. The very starting of an interview you will get, tell me about yourself. So just write a paragraph about this question's answer and just learn that. And by learning that, I mean that whenever at any point someone is asking, tell me about yourself, you have that paragraph ready with you so that you can tell it. It's the first impression which you are going to make to the interviewer by answering, tell me about yourself very clearly. But the second most important question which you get in the end of any interview, that is, do you have any question for me? And most students do this mistake that they just say that no, I don't have any question and so on, and then the interview get closed. But at the same time, this mistake can be not a very positive move, as if the interviewer is from their side asking, do you have any question, which means now you have an opportunity to showcase that you are actually interested in the company, which can be shown in your question, like what are the different technology that company is working, how are your experience working in the company, and so on. These type of question you can ask, which can generate curiosity on the interviewer, at the same time help him to imagine you in the place of that particular job profile. And you can also ask one very important question, that is, you now prior assume that you got to that particular job and now you are an employee at that particular position. Let's suppose, for instance, now you can frame a question like this: what are the different tech stack or technology I would be working as a SD fresher in this particular company? So by doing this or framing this question, what happened that now the interviewer will think you in place of that particular position, and then he or she will going to answer you accordingly. So this gave an interviewer a perspective to think about you as that particular profile position. So yeah, these are the different 5 very common mistake, and at the same time very important mistake to avoid in an interview. So if you're a student who is going to have your interview schedule in the upcoming days or week, I'm telling you, just carry one thing, and that is confidence. You are surely going to get whatever you deserve, and for sure you will going to get it. Just keep in mind all those things, and all the very best for your interviews. If you have any comment or question related to the video, please do comment it out. I'll happy to answer, and also please do let me know how was the video. So yeah, this is it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please do like, share and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.